All right, welcome everybody. As you can see, I am by myself tonight. Hillary is trying to get on, but she is having technical difficulties. So, unfortunately, you guys may be stuck listening to me for the whole time, but I'm good at rambling. So, yeah, she's trying to get on. If she gets on, obviously, I'll bring her in. But until then, uh, you guys can ask me questions. Let me try and get some stuff going here. So, um, anyway, the first thing I wanted to show everyone is our weather right now. This just came up, and it was, very exciting news for us that live here. It says that Monday night and Tuesday is going to be ugly. 6 to 12 inches of snow possible, 50-mile-an-hour winds, and my favorite is where was it? Travel could be very difficult to impossible. So that's one of the benefits of living here in Montana in this time of year. But that's what we go through every winter, a couple times a winter. So that's what if you're planning on moving up here or if you are here, that's what you get to deal with. The other thing I wanted to talk about as well is you guys, any of you that have signed up for our portal, um, let me get rid of this thing. Any of you guys that have signed up for our MLS portal and you've been searching on the MLS, last week we got a brand new system for our MLS and we sent out emails to everybody. So if you have not received an email or if you would like to receive or get onto our portal, the new one is really nice. It definitely is a step above what we had. It's taking a little getting used to because it is so much more detailed than the last one. There's just a lot more to know, a lot more to figure out, and we're still trying to figure it out. But we are happy to get you guys signed up. And like I said, we sent out emails to everybody last week. So if you haven't gotten one, let me put our email and everything up here if you guys want to. If you want a link, if you're not already on our system, let us know and we will hook you up. But the new system is awesome. Here's a little preview of what it looks like. It's more like a Zillow, but it's even better. You can search specific neighborhoods. It'll even put in, what's around there, the schools, the restaurants, how far everything is. It's another cool thing that it does is it'll compare. If you're just scrolling around and you look at, this house and this house and that house, it'll set it up. You can put them side by side and compare the houses. So it's very nice. And it will make it a lot easier for you guys to search and contact us about any listings that you may want to know more about. So, hello from Pennsylvania, Edmonton. Dwayne, good to have you back. You're always here. Thank you for that. Spokane, hello, Texas, and Louisiana so far. Nice. We got a question here from John. Have home prices gone down any since the market seems to be down for home buyers? Are sellers more apt to be willing to negotiate at home prices? Yes. Prices haven't gone down tons, and it's there's still demand here, and there's still a low inventory, and so that's keeping the prices up. They have gone down a little bit since last year, but because of our inventory being so low, there's still a demand, and people can still get the prices they want. There's some houses that people were trying to get the prices that they got, a year ago, but those houses are sitting there, and the people are realizing now that they're not going to get that price that they would have gotten a year ago. So it is a good time to buy, especially on homes like that, because they're those homes are just sitting there and the people are getting the hint that, the home's been on since the fall and they're obviously overpriced, because the homes that are priced well are selling very quick. We just sent a referral down to Missoula to the gal we work with down there, and they put in an offer on a house, and apparently there were 10 offers on it. So there's still demand up here in Montana and in Northwest Montana anyway. And I don't see it changing anytime soon, especially, the springtime. We always get more buyers coming into town. We get more listings that time of year. So the I would say if you're very serious about buying a house, I would get on it sooner rather than later, because you'll still be hitting those people that are kind of overpriced and that have been on the market um, uh, for too long, for the whole winter, and so they'll be more willing to work with you. The people that put on their listings in the spring, anybody that puts a new listing on, it's gonna take them a while before they figure out that they're not, they're not getting any offers and they need to lower the price. So um, that is my little rant on that. Let's see here. Sorry, like I said, Hillary's trying to get on, so it's gonna be a little clunkier today with me trying to do everything here, putting the comments up. So bear with me. Wendy, hey Wendy, with one home, do you still send out a hot list email every day? Wendy, if you're I think you're the person I sent the. I'm guessing you're the Wendy I'm thinking about that I was talking to yesterday. Um, I set up a search for you that will send out any new listings or price changes whenever they come on the market that morning. I can set them up to send it to you immediately, but then that's what I was saying. The parameter of your search is kind of huge. So you'd be getting about 50 emails every day. So I set it up to just send out one email in the morning with anything new or any price changes. So if that doesn't work for you, let me know. And anybody else out there, if you want a specific search set up and you don't want to search on your own, um, let me know and let us know, and we can set that up and put that to work for you. Let's see, next question from John again. Are there any plans for building homes in Montana to alleviate the need being inventory is so limited? Yeah, they're building houses, but they're once the interest rates went up, they kind of went up for everybody, including the builders, and so it slowed down a little bit. But the big thing up here in this part of the state is that we have had such a demand ever since Rona hit 3 years ago, 2.5, whatever it's been. There's been such a demand, and our inventory was wiped out that, the builders just can't keep up. They're definitely building new homes. They're building new apartment buildings, but there's still, if nobody bought a house for the next year and a half, we might catch up, but they're building them as fast as they can, and there's big demand. All right, Mike, is the raw land, I'm guessing raw land, you mean reasonably priced? It depends, Mike. It's kind of the same as houses. It's going to depend where the land is, what exactly you're looking for, if it's off the grid, if it's near a town, if it's near a ski resort. There's a million different options. If you want, send us an email and we can set you up on our portal and you can search around and see what our prices are right now. Let's see. Dave, do we need to go in and make a new search profile on one home so we get properties that fit our criteria? Yes, you can either, if you've already gone in and set up your account, you can I believe you can set up your own search or search however you want at that time. You might have to have me, if you want to email us, set up a automatic email that will send you, like I was talking to Wendy earlier. It'll send you an email every day or as soon as something comes on the market, or however you want me to set it up. It could do once a week, however you prefer it. But yeah, if you want that, let me know and send me the criteria you want in the search, and I will set it up. Let's see. Patriot Chick, how's the weather currently in your area? Well, it was snowing earlier, and if you weren't here at the beginning of the video, I put up this little winter storm watch that we have going. This is what we get to look forward to tomorrow night and Tuesday. 6 to 12 inches of snow and 50-mile-an-hour winds. So fun times here. But right now it's not bad. It's probably mid 30s out, and it stopped snowing for the moment. Let's see. Mac, do you know what the largest in demand jobs are in Northwest Montana besides labor and trades? Well, I know that in our area, in our valley, there's a couple of tech companies, and I know have been hiring a lot. There's a bunch of like gun companies that I know are always hiring. You know, for the production, I know that's kind of labor, but we don't have tons of industry here. You know, our tourism is our biggest industry, so most of the jobs are service jobs, and obviously there's a million of those available. You see a now hiring sign in every window, so that would be the biggest thing. But you know, those other companies, like I said, are definitely hiring as well. Let's see. CJ, Red Lodge went through 20 years of inventory for lots and land in 1 year. Yeah, that's kind of all of Montana. Everybody decided to move up here in the last few years and kind of wiped out the inventory. So, Dwayne, are the rents in Montana going down? That they are not. Unfortunately, we're starting to get more apartments, and condos are being built and coming on the market or coming into play, but there's still a shortage, and there's still a huge demand for rentals around here. So unfortunately the prices aren't going down. It's a supply and demand thing, and that's how it works. Let's see. Brad, do you have an update on the Holland Lake development? As far as I know, Brad, nothing has changed since, I don't know if you're on last time we talked about this, but the Forest Service shut down the original proposal, but apparently, according to Powder, the corporation that was going to do it, they're going back to the drawing boards, and they're going to submit a new plan, but that has not happened yet as far as I know. But I will definitely keep you guys updated on what I hear. Excuse me. How do I keep the ownership of land and home private? Yeah, well, unfortunately, if somebody really wants to find out, even if you have an LLC, that's registered in the state, and they'll put, if you're the primary owner of that LLC, your name will come up. But yeah, if you did it as an LLC, it'll be harder for someone to find, but obviously, they could still figure it out at some point, because your LLC will be registered with the state, and that'll have all of the corporate people listed on there. Let's see. Dwayne, an Arctic air mass is hitting Alberta tomorrow. We'll be gone. Yep, that must be what we're in for in a couple days. Mike, is off the grid something that can be accomplished in your opinion? I am 54 years old, married to my wife since 98, and I have a 20-year-old son. I've always wanted to live like Grizzly Adams. If you want something bad enough, you can make it happen. There's plenty of off the grid properties available up here. As I'm sure you're well aware, it's a lot of work. It's a different way of life, but people do it all the time. So again, if you want to email us and get a list of those properties, I'd be happy to send that out. Let's see, Dave. Have you been through the Yellowstone Club before? Is it too private to make a video about? Yes and yes. I have been there. Back in my former life, I used to run and build golf courses and maintain golf courses all over the country. And once upon a time, they were going to hire me to run the Yellowstone Club before it was even built. And I went up there um, before the golf course was even built, but the club was there and the development was there. So yes, it's super private, so you can't just roll in, and I don't think they'd want me videoing all the homes in there. But if I ever get the chance, I'll try and make that happen. It's a beautiful, beautiful development. Um, let's see. Hello from Iowa. Hello from Oklahoma. Let's see. How loud is the train noise coming from the Whitefish Depot? I live 1, 2, 3 blocks from there, and you can definitely hear trains. Um, it's something that you kind of get used to. We don't even notice them anymore. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I'm sure if you are not used to that sound, you'd think they're loud, but um, I don't. They are not loud to us. We don't even hear them anymore. So let's see. My son is looking for people to work for his company, Big Sky Utilities. There you go. Everybody's looking for help. Um, there's definitely jobs up here. The hard part is finding a uh, place to live because of the rental situation. Let's see. Are first-time home buyers at an advantage or disadvantage? If so, why? Love the channel. Well, thank you. Thanks for watching. You are in there's this you're in an advantage and a disadvantage. The advantage you have is there's some great programs for first-time home buyers. Government type loans with very low interest rates is one of the huge advantages. There's also some grants that you can tap into. Um, the disadvantage you are at is with those types of loans, they're they only take certain types of houses, and the houses have to be in pretty good shape. So, uh, you can't get a fixer upper or things like that. So that kind of narrows down the market. And then when you get a nice house that doesn't need any work, that's priced decently, there's usually a bunch of people after the same house. So that would be the disadvantage. But if you hang in there, we've worked with a lot of first time home buyers and helped out a lot of people get into houses. So uh, it's definitely doable, but you just have to be patient and wait for the right opportunity, and you can get some really good loans with good interest rates. Let's see. Kate, I'm seeing a few home sales from Northwest Montana folks that only bought in the last 1 or 2 years. Yeah, that's kind of always been, it's kind of been funny ever since I've gotten into real estate since about 2008. You get people that move up here from warmer climates because they visited here in July and August. And I mean, this place is perfect in the summertime. And people come up here and think that, oh, I want to live here. This is awesome. And they don't think about what it's going to be like this time of year. And they end up tapping out after 1 or 2 years. And I think, K-Dub, it's what you're seeing now. All right. Dave, enjoyed the video on home inspection. So there are some things that just can't be inspected thoroughly in the winter due to snow cover or temps. Mainly the roof. The one that I showed you, obviously, that place was down near Big Fork, and they don't get as much snow down there. So the roof on that particular video was pretty open. But like up here in Whitefish, unless it's a metal roof, it's definitely covered with snow right now. In fact, my neighbor's house right across the street, he's got probably a foot of snow just sitting there. So if you're trying to inspect that roof, you would have a hard time. The other thing I've warned people about, when you're inspecting, whether it's a home or just land. Uh, the snow's covering up the yard. You don't know if there's a bunch of garbage, or you don't know what it's covering up. So those are the big things. Other than that, if you can get inside the house, you'll get in. The inspector will get into the crawl space, and they'll go up in the attic, and um, everything else besides the outside can be inspected this time of year. So um, those are the big ones. Let's see. Are the programs and grants based on income? Some of them are, and that's for the first time home buyers. Yeah, some of the grants are based on income. Some of them are based on if you're a first time home buyer. There's all kinds of them, but and like the loans, like I said, those are just based on whether you're a first time home buyer and getting the low interest rate to get you going. So we work with a great lender. If you want more information on that, send us an email to the email below, and we can hook you up with Natalie is her name. And I've done a couple videos with her. If you want to get back on or search back on the channel, search our videos, and you will see her or hear her speak. Let's see. Are there boat docks for sale anywhere in Montana? Live aboard boat marina. I never seen or heard one. Too cold. Yes, there are boat slips available for sale. I don't know of anybody living on the water, and I'm assuming it's because it freezes up in the winter, and it probably would ruin your boat with the ice, jamming it in. But yeah, in fact, they're hard to get. They're in high demand, like everything. People want to live up here, and if you don't or can't afford to live on a lake, uh, you need a boat, or people want a boat slip to store their boat for the summer, and so they're in high demand, and they can be quite expensive depending on where they're located and what exactly you're buying. But no, I've never heard of anybody living on a boat out here, and I'm again because of the ice. Let's see. Is it a smart choice to use RainX type of product in Windows vehicles? Appreciate your channel. I'm not sure what type of product you're talking about. Um, Maybe be a little more specific. I'm not sure what you mean. How do you see the rentals going within the next few months? As far I've seen some promising rentals. Let's hope it stays good in the next 2 months. It's kind of funny. Like I was saying earlier, rentals are still tough around here. We had a gal in our office during our office meeting last week was telling us horror stories about she's trying to find a rental, and just with the prices and what's available, it's kind of tough. I mean, it is, like I said, there are more apartment buildings coming online and opening up. There's a big development between Whitefish and Kalispell that they're building those over there as fast as they can, and so those are definitely coming on the market. So it's helping a little bit, but it's there's still definitely demand. Let's see. Here's a timing question. When should I put my Kalispell home on the market to maximize my sale potential? I tried last summer, but the market went sideways. Like I was saying earlier, if you weren't on, we always get a big rush of listings in the springtime because that's when everybody normally starts looking. So I would say if you're trying to sell it quick and you can get out of it quick, um, and you price it right, uh, now is between now and May is a great time because uh, you're not going to be battling all the other listings that are going to come on the market. Um, but it just depends what exactly you're selling. If you want to send us an email, I'd be happy to give you a little price comparison, or send you some comps of what has sold in your neighborhood. and what you can expect to get for your place. But yeah, I mean, I would say just, to beat out the big rush of listings in the spring will give you a better shot. And you might even get a little more money for it because there's less people listing at the moment. We're already getting down to the bottom here, people. You must be missing Hillary. We're not getting as many questions. What is the view in your background? It's gorgeous. That's up the North Fork near Pullbridge. I've done a few videos up there, and I love going up there. We go up there in the summer all the time. It's just, yeah, it's spectacular. That view is what it is. So it's a great place up there. And Pullbridge is a cool little town. If you want to call it a town, they have the Pullbridge Mercantile there. And it's a fun place to visit. I'm laughing because Elizabeth, Hillary will appreciate this. She's missing Hillary and her dog. Hillary just texted me a minute ago and still having problems, so it does not look like she'll be getting on, but she's probably out walking her dog in her stroller at the moment. So let's see. We're kind of to the bottom. Rain-X is a product you apply to the windshield. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't use it, but I don't think it would hurt anything. We do go through a lot of what do you call it? Wiper fluid this time of year, just because we get warm during the day and things melt and the roads get wet and you get the spray and your windows get dirty and your car gets filthy. It was sunny the other day and I went to the car wash and there was a big line at the car wash, everybody getting rid of the grime all over their car. So Elizabeth, I think you're not a dog lover. No, that is incorrect. I just like giving Hillary a bad time about her dog. I actually have 2 dogs, so I do like dogs. Let's see, John. I plan on moving to Montana if May possible to find a rental or purchase a house. I currently live in Missouri. How's the cost of living in Montana compared to Missouri? Well, if you're planning on moving to the west side of Montana, I'm sure it's way more expensive than where you're. I mean, I don't know where you're at in Missouri. I shouldn't say that, but I know that our home values and home costs up here in the northwest side or the west side of the state are pretty high, and I would guess they're probably higher than most places in Missouri. Any fractionals in the Kalispell Whitefish area? Yes, there are. There's some of them up on Big Mountain, the ski resort area. As far as Kalispell, there might be. I'd have to check into that. Send me an email if you want a list. I can search for that easy enough. I haven't checked for any down in Kalispell lately, but definitely in Whitefish. And then over in Columbia Falls at Meadow Lake, there's a ton of timeshares over there that, fractional, you can buy fractional properties over there. But yeah, let me know if you want me to send you all the ones that are available. CJ, are you seeing people list their homes that are having to go back to the city for work? I'm just curious how much the end of remote work is affecting Montana. Yeah, there's some of that. A lot of people have just, it's kind of interesting. There are some people heading back to the city to go to work, but I've met a few people that have said, screw it, I'm not leaving. They like it here too much and they don't, they're figuring out a different job or a remote job or finding something around here. So it's kind of interesting little scenario that's happened in the last few years with everything that's gone on. Elizabeth, oh good, show your dogs. That's not going to happen, Elizabeth. One of them would go nuts and knock over my green screen behind me, and so I kind of am hiding out in my office down here with the door closed. So it would not be possible for me to do that. I apologize. Maybe I'll get some pictures one of these days. Let's see. Montana Rich. I'm from Osage Beach. Okay. Southern Missouri. I guess that's what we're talking about. TJ, average price for 5 acres with water. Uh, that is a good question. Why don't you that and I can't even begin to guess a number on that right now, because there's so many different scenarios. If you're looking on a lake with 5 acres, that's very rare. So that would be super high. If you're looking for 5 acres along the river, that's a little more possible. Um, and if you're just looking for a creek or something smaller, that would be your best bet. But I don't, to give you a price would not be fair. Just because I'm sure be way off, and it would totally depend on where you're looking. So again, our MLS covers all of Western Montana, and it will, if you want the link, email us and we will send it out to you. And and another thing about those links, if you guys sign up or want us to send something, just know that they're making everybody opt in. So the first email you're going to get is going to ask you if you want to opt in to get emails. And then if you want to opt in to get it sent to your phone, you have to opt in twice. I'm not sure why, but that's the way it works. So that's what will happen. But then just a little preview, the video that I'm going to do, the long video that's going to come out on Tuesday, is going to be a kind of a tutorial and showing you how this new one home works, and showing you all the things it can do. It's really nice, a lot better than what we had. So don't hesitate to sign up for it. And also, if you want a link, or if you want to search, an automatic search, home sent to you automatically, I can do that as well. Let's see. What is the frequency of wildfires in the Flathead Valley? Asking for a fire-prone Californian. We don't, and I'm being totally honest here, aside from a couple little grass fires, since I've lived here in 2001, there has not been a big fire in the valley here. I mean, knock on wood. Um, there's been fires around, northwest Montana, and we definitely get smoke from fires, but here in the valley, it has not happened. We have enough people here that they would, obviously, if it's the right conditions, we could get one here, but we would have definitely a huge number of people fighting it just because of the population here. But yeah, we haven't had a fire here in the valley since I've been here, and that's been over 20 years now. John, is land easier to find in general to build a home rather than buying a home? Not necessarily. There's plenty of land available, but there's also, homes available too. It just depends what you want. If you're the type of person that's looking for a really specific thing within the house, then I would suggest, buying a piece of land somewhere in an area you want to be and building, because you're never going to find a perfect house. There's always going to be something that you don't like. Maybe it's who knows, the layout of where the bedrooms are compared to the living room or the kitchen, or, a million different scenarios. But I've had a couple friends that I've helped out, and they just ended up building their own house because we looked at 50 houses and they didn't find the perfect one or exactly what they're looking for. So they did it themselves. Bozeman, Montana homes are between 500 and 800, depending on where you want. That is probably true. That might even be on the low side. Let's see. Guess a high number on the 5 acres. I've been looking for 2 years now for anything like that. Good luck on a low price. Yeah, you're right. I'm not even going to guess, just because I'll be way off, and there's too many variables to pick something out. I wish I could go over. If Hillary was here, I would do this. I'd get on my new MLS app and pull up what's available and see what's there and give you the prices, but I cannot do that by myself right now. Let's see. Ryan, which is the best place to live in Montana, Billings, Bozeman, or Missoula? That is a tough call. It depends what you like. So I don't know. The best place for you might not be the best place for me. Billings and Missoula are both the college towns here in Montana. Bozeman and Missoula are the college towns. Bozeman has Montana State, and Missoula has the University of Montana. Billings is the biggest town in Montana, so it has, it's just a bigger city. There's more there as far as stores and services, but it's kind of over on the east side. It's a little colder in the winter than Missoula. So yeah, I don't, I've done videos on every one of those towns. So if you want to go back in my channel and look those up, you can do your own comparison. And by the way, let me just throw this up for anybody out there that has not subscribed yet to our channel. We'd appreciate it if you would. Caesar, where can I get your contact info? Just email that email down at the bottom, and it's all right there. And we will respond and help you out in any way we can. Best place to live in Montana for a family. Again, kind of like the last question. It depends what you're looking for. If you want to be in a bigger city, if you want to live near a ski resort, depends on what price you want to pay for a house. There's just tons of different scenarios, but there's not really a bad place for a family that I can think of. I mean, any town is nice out here. It's a great state. People are friendly. There's tons of outdoor things to do anywhere in Montana. So to just say what is the best place, everyone's going to have a different opinion. So I'd be happy to give you more information on specific towns if you want to send me an email, and I can let you know or help you out with what you're looking for. Let's see. Do you have any advice or expertise on how to ask landowners if they are willing to sell a portion of their land? Yeah, I can reach out to them, or you can reach out. I've done videos on just looking up landowners and property owners. There's different apps you can use. There's the GIS site that has all the owners and their not all their contact info, but their address, their mailing address on there because of their tax records. It's all public info. But I've asked, for clients tons of times. I'll reach out to people that aren't, that have land that isn't on the market and ask if they're willing to sell. Let's see. Too bad you can't teleport Hillary. I agree. I'll mention that to her. She will appreciate that. Have the mortgage interest rates going up affected real estate markets in Montana? Oh, for sure. They went up a bunch late summer, and that really slowed things down. But then they kind of came down a little bit again, and it picked up again. I think people are realizing that this is kind of the new normal now. I don't foresee them going back to what they were a couple years ago when they were down in the 3% range. But they're, like I said, it's kind of the new normal. I foresee them kind of staying. They're going to go up a little, down a little, and just kind of staying about where they're at for the next year anyway, for sure. That's what everybody has told me that I've talked to. So that's That's my crystal ball on the interest rates. Daniel, hey, Will, 2 years since you guys found us their home in the flat end and they moved here from, oh, hey, how you doing? Loving it and zero plans to leave. Well, good. You guys are great people, and we knew you'd love it here, and most people do. The only people that really tap out are the ones that can't handle the winters, and obviously you guys like the skiing and everything the winter has here, so it's all good. Let's see. Bill, are there any homestead opportunities or credit from the government to live off the grid? That's it, the homestead thing. We talked about this, I believe, in the last live we did. I get tons of questions about that, and I think people are getting mixed up with like homesteading, where you go just live on the land and you get it. That doesn't happen anymore. That's not a thing anymore. There is a legal, I looked it up, I Googled it because of all the questions I've gotten. There's a legal, I don't even know what the term would be, but it's kind of like setting up an LLC where you uh, register your land as for homesteading, and then it will protect you up to a point, to like $300,000. It will protect the land from creditors taking it from you, but it doesn't, if you default on a mortgage or what were the other things? It's really, unless you have the land totally paid off, um, it doesn't do tons that I saw, but go ahead and Google that and you'll see what I'm talking about. I think people, the guy that asked last time he was considering homesteading, just living off the grid, having a place that he could have animals and whatever. And you can do that, but obviously anybody can do that. But homesteading, as far as back in the 1800s, where you just went and picked out some land and set up camp there, and then you get the land, that's not a thing anymore. And I'm not sure where people are getting that idea. just remember, do your research on this kind of stuff. Don't I don't know, like I said, I'm not sure where people are getting these ideas. So right, let's see. That's true. Setting up LLC protects your investment in that land. You still need to own the land. Yep. That's what I said. And if you Google that, homesteading, whatever the term is, it's that's how I read it. It's like basically setting up an LLC. So Gordon, decide to try out winter here before making a decision to move. Much better than Iowa winters and low taxes and utilities. Yeah, I agree. The winters here in western Montana are way more mild, much more mild than the Midwestern winters. So, but if you're coming up from Texas or Arizona or, a desert type area, you'll probably think the winters are horrible. But if you're coming from the Midwest, you'll think they're a piece of cake. Next question. If someone was looking to build a house in Montana, what are some of the pros and cons? Thanks for making these videos. Well, thank you for watching the videos. The pros and cons of building a house, well, I kind of touched on one of the pros earlier, is you can build exactly what you want. With that being said, though, you need to be careful. I had somebody I was just emailing with that was, wanting to build something. And the thing you have to be careful of is you need to check the zoning and the covenants to make sure whatever it is you want to build is allowed. But I mean, most raw land, unless it's in a subdivision, you can pretty much do what you want. But definitely keep that in mind. The cons, I guess one of the cons that we've had lately is that the builders got so backed up during the pandemic times that it was a year to 2 year wait to get them to even start on the home. but it is starting to get a little better now. I play hockey with a couple builders, and they're, taking uh, new builds, and they're, doing them way sooner than they were a year ago. So that would be another pro, I guess, as of now. But and then you're just gonna Montana. The values here are not gonna go down anytime soon. That again, I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody does, but they're not building any more mountain towns. This is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful spots in the lower 48 states. So there's always going to be a demand here, and what that means is that your value, no matter if you buy a house today and you stay in it for 5 to 10 years, I would find it very hard to believe that you're not going to or that you're going to lose money on it uh, when you go to sell it at that point, just because, this is a great part of the country and people want to live, a lot more people now, ever since the pandemic, want to get out of the big cities. And Montana is the fourth biggest state in the nation with uh, just over 1 million people in the whole state. So there's still a lot of room out here. Um, Still a lot of open land, and there, even with everybody that moved here in the last few years, um, it's gotten a little more crowded in our little towns. But I can get out in the middle of nowhere within a 15-minute drive right now, so it's a great place, and the demand is there. I hope that I'm not the outlier, but I hope that urban sprawl doesn't come to Montana. Let it be what it is, big sky country. Yeah, I, everybody wants that. Um, and I don't think in any of our lifetimes, anybody that's on this live right now, we're going to see it's going to take a long time for, Montana to be built up like some of the bigger states. It's just such a huge state, and there's so much land out here that it's definitely growing. But in our lifetimes, you're not going to see what you're probably thinking. Let's see. Make sure you do your homework on that house build so you don't run into problems. Yeah, you are exactly right. And if you are planning on building a house, we'd be happy to help. But anyway, back to the link down below. If anybody wants a link to our new MLS, let us know, and we will send it out. Here is another question real quick. Could I buy a piece of land, 5 to 10 acres, and build a 3-bedroom basic cabin for 500 grand? If so, any recommendations of areas? Well, the eastern side of the state would give you the most for your money. If you are looking to build and you're good with living on the east side of Montana, it's definitely the cheapest part of the state. And yeah, but to do that out here, not anywhere near the Flathead Valley, the land alone is going to pretty much cost you that. So unless you're off the grid and a ways out of town, but send us an email and we'll send you the link to our MLS and you can check out the prices. Is there broadband fiber internet more available in more areas? It's more available along the highways. Yeah, it's slowly coming. We still don't have fiber here, and I live right in the middle of town. It's kind of hit and miss. Up in Eureka, of all places, they have fiber all over the place, which is just weird. I sold a house there a few years ago, and it was way out in the woods, and the guy I was doing a kind of a FaceTime walkthrough. The guy was out of town, and he told me to ask the agent about what kind of internet or how good the internet was. And like I said, we were way outside of Eureka, and it had fiber, and I was stunned because we don't even have fiber, and I'm right in the middle of town here. So kind of hit and miss, but we're definitely getting it in more and more places. So we are almost to an hour and we've hit the bottom of the question. So I think I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for putting up with just me today. We'll try and figure out what Hillary's issues were with the internet so we can have her on next week. She was definitely trying. So hopefully she'll be on next week. Let's see. Mountain Max is delivering fiber through the flathead, doing a great job challenging the big telcos. They are growing fast. There you go. Yeah, we're getting it more and more. So it is coming. Thanks for that input, Dan. Thank you. Still in the early phases, but I appreciate the help. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to head out, and hopefully both of us will be back in 2 weeks. And if you got any questions, email us at that address down below. And thanks for tuning in, and thanks for watching all our videos. And we'll see you in a couple weeks.